Embark on a journey where technology and ethics intersect. How can I hunt them without becoming the aggressor? That's what American farmers face every day when dealing with invasive birds. Every morning in Minnesota, I don't just see the sunrise over vast fields. I see a war going on, not with the weather, but with nature itself. Starlings and Canada geese are invasive species that silently destroy everything I've worked so hard to build. Starlings cost the US agricultural industry nearly $800 million, 0 cents a year, and Canada geese are a multi-million-dollar nightmare. Technology is our weapon, but how do we win without becoming the destroyer? Initially, we used the harmful hunting mindset of shooting Canada geese with 12-gauge shotguns under USFWS permits, or using starly-side traps to quickly knock down starlings, which has resulted in a 50% reduction in pest birds on some farms.
Ready, boys? 3, 2, 1, go! Oh, fuck, no, knife! Ready? 1, 2, 3, go! Nice! Ready? Yep. 1, 2, 3, go! Nice!
Yeah, kill him.
I once went on such a hunt on a rainy night, shooting several adult geese that were destroying a field.
Kill those! Kill them! 3, 2, 1, go! Go! Send them to Jesus!
But here's the dark side. Harmful is often criticised for being inhumane, unnecessary, and the public backlash is evident in the real-life story of farmers on Martha's Vineyard who face backlash for knocking down geese to save their crops, despite the law.
Kill him!
Research from the journal Management of Biological Invasions shows that harmful may lead to avoidance behaviour in birds, but does not address the root cause and can increase populations if left unchecked.
Kill him!
In contrast, non-harmful thinking uses lazy scarecrow to scare away invasive birds or egg addling with vegetable oil to prevent hatching without harming the mother bird, focusing on sustainability and humanity. in Minnesota. We use drones to monitor flocks of starlings flying around Canada geese, then laser scan a 10-acre field at night to scare them away without harming them. The difference is clear. Harmful is decisive, quick to resolve. Non-harmful requires patience, is cheaper, and according to research from Farmlands is more effective, reduces losses without being overly harmful, and makes us feel more compassionate toward animals who are victims of human-caused imbalances. What do you think about this? With the wrong posture, I spent the whole night without catching any. Is this saying completely true? It must be put into practice that, when hunting geese, I choose a wetland near a lake where geese gather, and I bring waterproof camouflage clothing and binoculars to observe. I lie down on the lakeshore, my body pressed against the ground, keeping quiet to avoid startling the geese. Here are some measures you can refer to when lying still when hunting geese, especially when using decoys in open fields. Geese are very alert and will quickly detect anything unusual. Low covers or natural cover are often used to hide until the geese are in sight. My hunt for invasive birds saved our fields, but if left unchecked, overhunting could lead us into disaster.
Whoa, Rio.
Unrestricted hunting causes starlings to develop avoidance skills and Canada geese to reproduce more quickly, causing their numbers to explode out of control.
Take up!
Right now.
Take up!
Furthermore, mass culling not only destroys ecosystems and upsets the food balance of native species, but also exposes farmers to criticism.
Oh, baby!
The USDA has stressed that harmful is unsustainable without non-harmful support like egg addling or laser scarecrows.
Down. Stay. Real.
American farmers are battling an invasive predator that attacks, and the stakes are high. In Alaska, black bears tear through cornfields, causing up to $20,000 in damage each season. But the real horror comes when these giants come to town, breaking into homes in search of food. Imagine waking up to find a bear rummaging through your kitchen. Happens more often than you think. Red foxes are no less dangerous. They can climb through fences and wipe out entire poultry farms overnight. Worse yet, they're known to carry diseases that threaten both livestock and humans. But their most persistent enemy is the feral hog. In South Carolina alone, this invasive species causes more than $12,600,000 in agricultural damage each year, and they can strike at any time. The danger in Alaska has seen losses of more than $15 million a year, forcing the government to take drastic action. Guns are now the main line of defense, and all hunters must adhere to strict protocols set by the Alaska Department of Wildlife.
I got it. Hey. Got him.
As winter approaches, black bears become more dangerous. Driven by their instinct to gain weight for hibernation, they roam farther and more frequently in search of food. This makes them easier to spot, but also more unpredictable. Alaska's black bear population is estimated to be between 700,000 and 800,000, and hunting quotas vary from 8 to 12 bears per season, depending on population control needs and environmental conditions. In the harsh wilderness of Alaska, hunting requires patience and strategy. Hunters must read the wind and use rugged terrain to their advantage. With a black bear population of around 200,000, this invasive species has been better controlled with government oversight. While guns are effective, they are controversial. Some believe that greater use of guns increases safety risks and offer alternatives, such as habitat management and public education. But for those on the front lines, the threat is real and action is needed. As winter approaches and bear activity slows, a new challenge emerges: the red fox. Swift and ruthless, these predators target poultry, forcing farmers to stay vigilant. The hunt continues. Hunters rely on sniper rifles like the Remington 700 for accuracy and power over long distances.
Got him!
The sharp sound of a shot breaks the silence, and tension builds as the fox darts across the open field. Every second counts in this high-risk chase.
Woo!
These hunts demonstrate not only the skill and preparation required, but also the respect a hunter must have for the environment and the humanity of hunting.
It's another fox.
The lesson? In the wild, patience, precision, and respect are the keys to survival. But in addition to firearms, an essential tool for daytime hunting is the electronic game call.
Shadow.
This device simulates the distress sounds of small animals, luring red foxes out of hiding and into the open. Developed through extensive research, these calls increase the hunter's chances of detecting and targeting foxes without having to get too close, ensuring safety and efficiency. Next, with South Carolina's vast forests and vast grasslands, hunting wild hogs is a high-risk challenge. Physical fitness is required to traverse the rugged terrain, and 20/20 vision is required to spot wild hogs from up to 400 feet with accuracy. Wild hog hunting season begins July 1 and runs through February 28, sometimes extending into March and April in designated areas. In the fall and winter, wild hogs become more aggressive in their foraging efforts to build up food for the winter. Their increased mobility makes them easier targets, but also more dangerous due to their territorial nature. I'm Jack Harlan, a journalist covering hunting in the American West for over 20 years, writing for Peterson's Hunting and Yellowstone Journal since 2005. I've seen the coyote crisis unfold. Real stories from Montana's area of control to social media backlash changing lives. Coyotes seem like pests, but are we the cause? Critics call hunters cruel, yet who's asking why this conflict persists? Whether coyote hunting is right or wrong. Let's see what happens next. In 2018, I visited a Wyoming farmer who shared how coyotes had severely impacted his sheep flock in just 1 week. Coyotes have been a persistent problem since the Dust Bowl of the 1930s, when dust storms weaken livestock, making them easy targets. According to the USDA Wildlife Service, coyotes cause millions in economic losses to the livestock industry each year. However, they also play a role in controlling rodent populations, indirectly protecting crops from pests like voles. The core problem is the rapid growth of the coyote population due to their high reproductive rate. One of the standout methods I witnessed was aerial control, an approach that dates back to the 1930 CES and is still used today. A small plane hovers low over the vast grasslands of New Mexico, where I took my first flight in 2012 with Wildlife Services. The plane flies low to the ground to observe and intervene with a moving herd of coyotes, using its wide field of vision to access difficult terrain. This method works well in open terrain, where coyotes have difficulty hiding and can temporarily reduce populations in specific areas. However, the challenge lies in the coyote's adaptability, learning to avoid them by hiding in bushes or rough terrain, which complicates coyote hunting. Moving on to ground control, this is the traditional method I have observed on many ranches, which involves using a gun from the ground to directly intervene. Hunters use rabbit calls to attract coyotes within 50 to 100 yards, pique their curiosity. In 2023, 20,000 coyotes were managed using traditional hunting, according to Arizona wildlife records, especially during the open season. The hunter missed once, the wind changed direction, and the coyote was gone in seconds. If you successfully go coyote hunting, do you know the answer? Trapping is another approach I have followed since 2010 in Illinois, focusing on the use of wire or wire traps for passive coyote control. Traps are carefully placed along familiar coyote trails in snow-covered grasslands where tracks are easily identified. This method is most effective in the winter months of November through March, when food is scarce and coyotes travel farther, reducing their vigilance. Best management practices, BMPs, recommend the use of scientifically researched traps to ensure selectivity and humanness. However, common mistakes of placing traps incorrectly or neglecting to check the terrain can lead to poor results. And new guidelines in 2025 emphasize avoiding these mistakes to increase effectiveness. Trapping requires knowledge of coyote behavior, which avoids human areas in the summer while caring for the next generation. These methods, whether aerial, ground, or trapping, often draw backlash from the community, especially when the content goes viral on social media. I noted a case in 2019 in Osage County, where a coyote control video led to criticism from organisations like the Humane Society, which said it was inhumane. These backlashes can lead to negative messaging that can impact the personal lives of those involved. problem is that social media can magnify events, making images misleading, and highlighting the importance of being aware of how information is shared. Leave a comment on this issue to find common ground. In Australia's Northern Territory, particularly around the South Alligator River and Darwin Harbour, a growing crocodile population has raised safety concerns. Once nearly wiped out, these apex predators now roam freely, often coming very close to human settlements. In 2017, a man was attacked while crossing a swollen river, illustrating the serious risks to manage. This technical preparation is important because it directly affects the outcome of the crocodile hunting. Traditionally, these reptiles, which can be more than 16 feet long and weigh more than 1,000 pounds, are dangerous predators. Their armoured scales act as a natural shield. The length and durability of the spear provide the leverage and security needed when dealing with a crocodile. Without these preparations, the hunt can easily go wrong, leaving the hunter in danger and their efforts unfulfilled. By the 1980s, crocodile hunting in Africa had transitioned from traditional methods to the use of firearms. This shift raises an important question. Has it enhanced safety or diminished the cultural significance of traditional hunting? Modern hunters, now equipped with rifles, must maintain absolute silence and stand 50 to 100 yards away to ensure safety. Hunters are required to obtain permits issued by local wildlife authorities, such as Tanzania's Ministry of Natural Resources or Botswana's Department of Wildlife and National Parks. These permits come with specific quotas to prevent overhunting. crocodile hunting requires hunters to undergo training on the behaviour of this invasive species, so they understand how to approach and handle it safely. For large crocodiles, hunters are encouraged to aim humanely and concentrate their shots quickly. Typically, rifles such as the 375 H&H Magnum or .458 Winchester Magnum are used to take down large crocodiles. But hunters are strictly prohibited from hunting young crocodiles or those in the breeding season. Hunting takes place in the morning when crocodiles come ashore to bask or forage. Thanks to regulations and control policies, hunters can successfully take down about 2,000 to 3,000 African crocodiles each year. At the end of each hunting season, hunters report to local authorities and the meat is distributed to areas facing food shortages. This practice highlights the deeper purpose of hunting. It is not just about skill and tradition, but also about providing for communities in need. The stress of hunting is real and every move counts. What do you think of the African hunters' approach to collecting and processing crocodiles in an environmentally friendly way? But how do we balance tradition and conservation? What do you think of African hunters' journey to combat invasive species? Leave your thoughts in the comments, and if you enjoyed this journey, subscribe for more exciting adventures to come.
In British Columbia, Canada, where wolf attacks on bison populations have become a serious threat to the ecosystem. The main cause is the overgrowth of wolf populations due to strict environmental protection. In 2018, wolf attacks caused about $10 million in damage and the loss of more than 500 bison. Each hunt usually has the appearance of 5 to 10 wolves participating. With such a large number of attacks, the bison cannot resist. In Canada, using traps to catch wolves is the leading method. First, hunters choose a trap location after researching and observing the land to determine the presence of wolves based on the tracks they leave behind. Next, wolf traps are set up using the dirt hole set technique, where an artificial hole in the ground is created to encourage wolves to approach. The trap is buried under a thin layer of soil to hide it and has an iron stake to firmly fix the trap. This helps prevent captured wolves from escaping traps. Finally, hunters always comply with local trap regulations and must have a license from the government to use traps effectively. Canadians have shared their experiences on how to set Bridger wolf traps that have a quality rating of up to 85%, with special features such as sturdy springs and lamina arms ensuring maximum effectiveness. Although trap installation does not require a very high standard of experience, it does require meticulousness and an understanding of wolf behavior. In case you have not taken any training, it will be very dangerous to set traps alone. Protect yourself by gaining experience first. Proper trapping has brought happy results to Canadian communities, as they no longer have to worry about the consequences that wolves have on bison populations. After 5 years of implementing strict control measures, the number of wolves invading and causing damage has decreased by 1/3, from about 1,500 wolves to 500 in 2019. The problem of hunters not being responsible in collecting and handling wolves trapped in traps is a serious problem for the environment and the community. According to information from communities, there are many cases where wolves are caught in traps but are not collected and handled promptly, leading to odors, environmental pollution, and frustration from the community. According to the new regulations, Hunters who violate them will be fined a fine of 5,000 USD for each case. This is a fine aimed at promoting serious compliance with environmental protection regulations and ensuring humanity in handling wild animals. Besides the negative impacts of wild boars and wolves, black bears are also a significant threat to the environment and humans. Recently, black bears have stopped foraging around landfills and have moved to foraging in central commercial areas due to the variety of food sources in shopping centers. The presence of black bears has disrupted business activities for several hours. Authorities took several hours to capture the black bear. To install black bear traps, experts often choose a specially designed trap system to ensure effectiveness and safety. The hunter digs a hole about 3 feet deep and wide enough to fit the trap. The trap is arranged so that a piece of pipe is large enough for the bear to reach into to retrieve the bait. At the same time, experts use equipment such as cameras to record the bear's actions to adjust the position and improve the ability to catch the bear. Once set up, the trap is thoroughly covered and protected with a container that holds approximately 30 pounds, helping to keep the trap safe and protected from rainwater damage. Importantly, this also helps prevent other animals from being caught in traps. To prepare for black bear trapping using a snare, one effective bait used is popcorn. Popcorn is prepared with honey and oil to create a unique scent. Placed in a 5-gallon plastic bucket, the popcorn is arranged to easily attract bears. A specialized triggering mechanism is installed, with marshmallows hung beneath the bucket and a special lever to securely hold the bucket on a nearby spruce tree. When the bear attempts to retrieve the bait, the triggering mechanism activates, leveraging the spring and snapping firmly into place. Bait traps not only help attract bears closer but also ensure the safety of hunters, helping them avoid danger when not having to come into contact with black bears. Canada, black bear hunting licenses have separate regulations than those for wild boar or wolf hunting licenses. One license can allow the capture of up to 2 black bears in one hunting season, and hunting takes place from May to June each year. According to an investigation by the Canadian Department of Natural Resources Management, some hunters have taken advantage of hunting licenses to commit illegal acts. They arbitrarily sold black bear fur to the market without permission from local authorities. The consequences of this action are to seriously affect the balance of black bear populations and risk reducing the species' resources. Therefore, hunting requires strict control from local authorities in dealing with black bears. Invasive species in Canada have been strictly controlled through the use of traps. In the above countermeasure, if you support the trap countermeasure, please comment number 1. Please give your comments so that Canadians can apply it in keeping the area safe. Thank you for watching and sharing the video so that your family can have many advantages at work. Please continue to watch the following video.
These approaches have been great at stopping the spread of some invasive species. Got any ideas for even better solutions? Drop your thoughts in the comments so we can all dive into it together. Thanks for sticking around and watching the whole video. If you liked it, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to the channel. And hey, be sure to tell your friends about us too so they can check it out. Bye and see you in the next video.